I I like to think that I get rid of stuff, but I don't actually think that I do easily, as you can see behind me. Um, this is all stuff
Wait,
that.
I did think I get rid of stuff. As he turns around, there's just a pile of junk behind.
Yeah, so I was about to explain why. So my
Yeah, yeah.
parents, my parents had all this stuff in their house from when I was a kid, and so they just dropped it off at my house now. And so
That
like
does make sense. I was
I
like, you
have
don't
like
normally have this much junk in your.
I have all
Is that
this
Ken
like
Griffey Jr.?
there it is, Jason
Oh,
Bay.
Jason. I don't know who Jason Bay is. Who's
He
Jason Bay?
he played for the Pirates. Gosh, had to be circa 2026. Not 2026, 2006. And then he got traded to the New York Yankees because he was the best player on the Pirates at the time, which wasn't like that good. And then he went to the Yankees and never did well again. But I just have a bunch of junk like that, like old baseball
I was.
cards that are worth
Yeah.
nothing, and so it's like, what do I throw away? It's probably going to be all of it at some point, but
I have one of those as well in my attic. Actually, no, I have in my office. I should bring some stuff down. Because I have glasses from like Super Bowl 20 something, like collector's glasses. I have like a Ken Griffey Jr. card that's in like a shadow box thing like that, like
oh
it's behind the glass. I've got a signed, it's a black and white photo in a frame of Bill Mazeroski running home after his home run,
wow.
and it's signed supposedly by him. It's not like verified, but it's like supposed some we got it from somewhere that's supposed to be him.
I, hold on. I've been carrying this thing around since I was, I think, 13 years old. I think I got this. It's a signed photo of Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle, black and white, and it's like my prized possession again. Like college, when I moved to Florida, that it has remained with me because I was like, I never want to let this out of my hands because it's worth so much money. Found out this week that the sticker on there, CSC, apparently 10 years ago they got busted in an FBI raid, and they faked and forged a bunch of signed memorabilia. And
Yeah.
so I have a letter of authenticity in there from them, but because it's from them, it means nothing because they just faked all of that. And so like, I could send it to somebody to see if it's real, but like at this point I know it's not, so I might as well just keep the mystique.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go this weekend up to my attic and pull my Bill Mazeroski photo and look for CSC on it or
Yeah,
something. Because now I'm curious. That's the problem. Is like it could be worth so much money, but you can't prove it. So like without some sort of verification, which like nobody did 30 years ago, like or 40 years ago, you just had a thing. Maybe you did, but like it wasn't. I feel like nowadays like collecting is like a much more polished official hobby. Like it was just like yeah, you just had cards. You just like opened a pack of cards. You had a card.
I hate to say this, but you probably could run it through like a Gemini or something pretty quickly and get an understanding of what it thinks, like just to give you a
Why? So
baseline.
that Gemini can then forge it? No,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, they're gonna
Yeah.
sell it on
So
your
that's what I
behalf.
want. Gemini to have one more thing to generate off of. Okay. All right. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
Didn't realize you were an evangelist for AI. How much did
Listen,
Google pay you to say that on
the
stream?
the viewers of this podcast, they know where I stand on this. They know I can't stand it. Every episode I'm talking about how much I
This is the
hate
first one.
AI.
They know nothing about you. This is the first thing they're learning about you. Is that you're in bed with AI, you know?
Well, trust me, viewers, I'm not. Yeah, no, I
The
can't.
camera goes nuts. wait, wait.
Oh, this is really good. Yeah, this is really good content.
The crust is so flaky. It's so good, but
Oh,
holy crap.
we can cut it.
We get it?
Yeah, we
Wait.
can cut it.
Do you think you can do the Rick Glassman wink at the camera?
How was that?
Wasn't bad. I don't think I can do it while I'm
I
choking.
I think I have a good wink. I and the only reason I think I have a good wink, when I was a kid, maybe 13 years old or so, right about the
Yeah.
same time I got that photo, we played a game. It was like one of those werewolves at midnight games where like everyone closes your eyes and the werewolf like murders somebody in the night, and then like that person's dead and
This
like
is you
everyone's
play this instead of spin the bottle.
we did that too.
Okay.
But since I wasn't from a small town, everyone was related. But with this game, so you got a card,
What a
and
throwaway.
if you
Continue.
had the ace of diamonds, you were the killer, and so you had to wink at people, and so like if I winked at you, you had to announce that you were dead, and then everyone
Yeah.
was like trying to figure out who the killer was based on who was looking at who, and so like we'd have like maybe 10 people around a circle, and you'd just be winking all over the place.
Um, I can't. I'm not good at winking.
You would have been bad at
Just
that game. Oh yeah, no, that's a I want to tell. I'd look
like
at yeah, yeah, I'd see your
it's
mouth
so
move.
much effort. I can't. I can't. First off, why is my camera going at it a blur?
Yeah,
I
this
don't
is what
love
I'm talking about.
that. That's what you're talking. Specifically that.
I mean, it's not great. It's part of the problem.
I don't know why yours is like a wide angle. Why is your whole freaking office in your video? Like,
I've got a
let's try and get.
I've got a really nice camera.
Let's try to pan that a little bit, huh? Let's try to get a little zoom on old
Uh,
Justy.
no, I like the background. I mean, obviously it's a bunch of junk right now, but once I get that narrowed down, and you just got like the photo. I think it's a great angle. And
I need
plus,
to get up. Yeah.
so I mean, should we explain like what we're trying to do on this channel?
I'm not even sure this is a real channel, but yeah,
I mean, it is a channel. We have a YouTube handle.
it is a technically, by definition, it is a channel. I feel like my video is not very good, and it's making me self-conscious about it.
It's making me
I want to get that
self-conscious too.
figured out. Huh?
It's making me self-conscious too. I mean, this video is probably gonna have like 2 views.
At most. It's probably me refreshing it. Improv.
You could hype it. Yeah, so I mean we should explain that. So Scott and I aren't funny. I think that's obvious. And so
They've gotten that already.
what we've tried to do is become funny. And in doing that, we've signed up for an improv beginners class, 101 class, improv beginner class.
Technically, it's improv for beginners is the name, but I would argue it is the equivalent of a 101 for the like people who, if you've done any level of improv, like 101, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, like it's a 101.
It's beginner/101. So what we're doing is we're going to these classes every Monday, and we're learning the basics of improv. And so this past week we had our first class, and we thought, hey, let's talk through our story and what we're learning and what we're watching and what we're doing to practice our improv skills. And if people watch it, great. No one will. And if you're watching
To be
this, and you're
fair,
like, I love
I wanted this to be playing improv games, and you said, "What if we make this a confessional?" And I said, "I guess." And here we are.
I mean, we can do both. Like, there's no
Okay.
rules to this. Like, we can like spend like 10 minutes talking about our
You could
lives.
say it's a lot like improv because there's no rules.
It's all made up.
That's not true. Improv actually has rules. I actually read that. Have you gotten your Truth and Comedy book yet?
I'm getting it tomorrow.
Oof. Well, you
Maybe
wouldn't know this then, but it talks a lot about the fact that improv is meant to feel like it has no rules, but actually does have a loose structure. But you'll get there. You'll get there.
well, maybe you could explain that to the viewers on what
I've been
that
reading it
means.
at like 10 o'clock at night. Honestly, I've retained 5% of it. I'm gonna have to reread it. I'm trying my best. So wait, I don't have it. It's outside. Don't go for the joke. That was a lesson. It said don't go for the joke because it said that um good improv is about making your partner right making your partner's ideas flourish, and that often trying to go for the joke ends up being at the expense of what's happening in the scene. And so like that little like wink to the audience where you step out of the scene and kind of like make that joke can did you just wink?
Twice, yeah.
I only caught it once. Uh, can work, but many times, and this is why comedians and actors fail when they come to do improv, is that they want to go for the joke because that's what they know, and what's actually funny um is not real life, but it's just like it's living in that moment, in that scene, and just sort of like connecting with the audience in a way that's relatable, and then and then telling that in a funny way, and kind of calling out the absurdity of like just real life.
I think our teacher Paul said that on Monday, right? Like, just be human, and you're going to be funny. The thing
Yep.
I think is interesting within improv, and I think this applies to a lot of things in life, but like specifically, and as our viewers know, I'm really into chess. I think it like because there are rules to improv, like you just said. Like there are things that we need to learn. And similar to chess, there's things that bring out your pieces. Don't bring out your queen too early, whatever. But then like you get to a point where you know how to break those rules. Like Ben Schwartz and friends, he's not going up there not trying to hit a joke. Like if you watch any of his 5-minute YouTube clips, like he's going for a joke, and he's able to do it because he knows, I think, so much about improv, and I think he's able to break the rules, right? Like I think it's like,
I'm still thinking about your chess analogy.
it's a perfect analogy. It's like a pizza. So your rules are your dough, and as you layer up your pizza ingredients, Ben Schwartz is making a supreme pizza. He's able to work in a joke in specifically green onions into a pizza. You wouldn't think it works, but he's able to do it because he's so good at making a pizza.
This is the part where we remind people that the podcast will probably get better from here.
I don't think it is. I think this is the best I can do.
Oh, freaking. It's like, what if we spent the next 10 minutes trying to explain analogies for improv instead of just talking about it?
I think that is a perfect analogy of what we learned this week. It was the exact thing I thought of when we were talking about like the rules and like not going outside of those rules. Again, the good improvers are breaking those rules.
I think that's going to be the hardest thing for me. I think I like going for the joke.
I mean, you're very funny.
What?
You're very funny.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I like going for I like the wink and the nod at people. And I'm gonna have a hard time, I think, committing to the scene and not acknowledging the joke in that moment, and just kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting
I
because I feel like
think
that's what I do. I do that like in like I work in corporate America, so like I feel like we're in like meetings, and like I think the best thing you can do in those is be as unserious as possible, and go for the joke in the moment, because it helps to like just break things up and I'll have us all remember we're humans. I think that's like the last thing you want in improv.
I think for beginner 101 class, sure. Like I don't
Am
know
I a
what.
201 guy? I don't know. Maybe I should be in 201. I don't know.
Well, I mean that's my point. I think as you get the
That's your
ingredients of the
point? I should be in
pizza.
201?
No,
That's crazy. Continue.
as you get the ingredients of the pizza, 101, 201, 301, 401, sauce, cheese, pepperoni, you can start incorporating the things that you want to
Yeah.
incorporate. Like that's kind of what I'm trying to say. And you're going to be able to incorporate a joke
Yeah.
because your scene partner will also be able to understand that you're like, if I'm up there with you, like I think you can probably go for a joke because I think I can riff off of that too. And I think that's like, sure, everyone that's in this 101 class that doesn't necessarily want to go further in improv and just wants to do it for this moment, which is nothing wrong with that. Like, yes, you want to make sure that they're successful, and that's a really big part of this class. But I think as you expand, you're going to be able to go for a joke.
What kind of pizza is 201?
You have sauce in 201.
What?
So right now we have the dough. We're in 101,
All
so
right,
we have the
201
dough.
is the sauce?
Yeah, you're adding sauce to the pizza.
I
In 301, you're
So
adding the cheese. So you have a cheese pizza. And then in 401, you can
so
add a
so if
ingredient of
you're
your own choice.
like Ben Schwartz is making a pizza every
Supreme
night. Is that what
pizza.
you're saying?
Supreme pizza every single night.
And I see.
Right now, we're just working on the dough. We're balling it
I was
up.
thinking
We're
we're really
kneading
like a
it.
cheese pizza, It's like keep
No,
it simple,
that's 301. That's 301.
The pineapples are the joke, are the wink.
I mean, if you're having just a cheese pizza with pineapple, sure, but I mean, then you're just going ham and
Honestly,
pineapple.
I got lost in this analogy second you mentioned it. So I don't.
Hey, leave it in the comments. I think it's a good. think it's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I bet there's gonna be a comment that says it was a really good analogy
You see, I have mushrooms growing right here.
in that
Trying to
container.
point, but it's like awkwardly. See, those are mushrooms.
I can't. Oh yeah, I can tell. It's hard to see because your camera is a little blurry. How cool is that?
I decided that it'd be fun to grow mushrooms. They're just gray oyster mushrooms, and I realized I had three of them, three of those fruit blocks. They grew so fast. I had so many of them, and I realized I don't want this many mushrooms. What am I supposed to do with this many mushrooms? It can happen so fast. And so I dried them, and I was like, I'll dry them, I'll dehydrate them. Went great, have in a bag. Went to open them to put into a soup. Was disgusting. They were absolutely disgusting. They were terrible. And so this is batch two. We'll see what happens. I thought if I can do this, I can grow magic mushrooms, and that'd be pretty fun. But it's a lot of work.
I don't want to make this into a mushroom podcast, video cast. This is
You've
still called a
spent so much
podcast,
time talking about pizza. I feel like
right?
we can tangent for.
But that's about improv. I don't know how we're tying mushrooms into improv. How do mushrooms end up bad?
I think it's interesting. You think you can't tie mushrooms back to. No wonder you're in 101.
Well, tell me about these mushrooms become bad, and I'll see if I can bring it around.
I already did. You missed the moment. It's too late. Anyway, I've been working on my office because it's small. My office is small,
Mm-hmm.
and so I've been trying to get shelving. So like this shelf is new, this bookshelf, that corner shelf. I put up. I used to have a tall shelf. It was just like a tall, thin bookshelf with a couple shelves on it, also from Target, I think. And I was like, hey, you know, it'd be really fun. I don't need it. I can't fit it in here. I've got these shelves now. Is to have my family pitch to me why they think they should get this bookshelf in their room. So the girls went. Rachel pitched why she thought we should put it in our bedroom, which made sense. And we went through it. Everyone did a pitch. We're great. I picked one of them because I was like, hey, there's one bookshelf. There's four people. Someone's not going to get a book. I mean, three people aren't going to get one. And two kids cried. And
How do
I
you,
told Rachel,
how do you think you were able to remain objective through that? We'll blur her out.
life.
We're gonna keep it, but we're gonna blur it.
Cut it. Just bleep her. Um, yeah, two kids cried. And
How?
I was like,
So back to my question.
I almost
How?
put everyone. I almost wanted to target and bought everyone a bookshelf. I felt so bad. I was like, I think everyone's getting bookshelves as the takeaway.
How are you objective? Because like I don't think I could remain
I wasn't.
objective.
I already knew who was going to get it from the beginning.
Yeah. See, you should have had me listen to the pitches.
You know, there's only one of them that actually needed it, and so I was like, I'm going to do this, but in reality, I always knew who was going to get it. I mean, there was always one person who really needed a bookshelf.
So it was kind of it was like a yes and yes and we'll do we'll do this to get the bookshelf.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Nice.
Yes, and a bookshelf. Nice. Um, I I mean we talked about Monday, so I feel weird talking about it again.
No, I don't think
I feel like we
I
should just
no, I think that this podcast, I want to make this improv related. So if you want to tie it back to Monday, let's tie it back to Monday. If you want to talk about something you're watching on YouTube that you like, let's tie it into something on YouTube.
Oh, you know, I did watch I Shoot from the Hip. I watched it, and I watched they did a special. It was like an hour and 45. Can you imagine doing
I
improv for an hour 45?
I mean, we did 2 hours on Monday.
No, we did not. Like it was, and it was just like I mean, you know how they do it. It's so rapid fire. They're just like constantly going. Um, it was a lot. I don't know how they do it. It was just, I mean, but it was so good. Like it was. It, I like that. I liked some of the games they played, and it felt like they were just playing like improv games that, like we would be playing in 101. Like I don't think they're not doing anything like earth shattering. They're just good at it.
Yeah, I mean they're very
Like
good at it.
they do a lot of like one word story, like a variation of it. I'm sure there's names for all this, but like I know is one word story where like you just literally like you and I are going, each of us has one
Yeah.
word, we go back and forth, we tell a story.
Like this,
Um,
I,
love.
myself. Perfect.
I think that's it. I think we
Yeah.
got it.
Yep.
I don't want to go any further. I think that was, um, the worst version of that possible. God, we're so bad at improv. Yeah, but it was like they would do, hey, we're gonna have the audience tell us a topic of something. I forget what it was. And then the one guy was interviewing. So he was kind of like, I like that they always have one person who's sort of like in control of it. And then they have the other three like being, it's one expert, but three people saying one word as the expert. So like things like that, or like they did one where there was two groups of two,
Mm.
and one side was writing a letter to FedEx, and
Yeah.
the other side was FedEx responding. I was like, that was pretty funny, but it was just like simple games. That was pretty cool.
I, I do watch a lot of their stuff. I'm still trying to figure out like who are the main players in this space, and it seems like Smosh Pit. It seems like Shoot from the Hip over. They, they're British, so I'm assuming those are the guys over there. You
I
got,
think Dropout.
yeah. I mean, sure, the different shows there, and then like Ben Schwartz and friends. I'm talking like YouTube primarily. Um, this is where we're streaming live. Um,
Oh, that's what this is. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Thank you. Thanks, YouTube. Continue.
So I've watched them quite a bit, and yeah, that game, I always enjoy it, but it does feel like that is one of the easier of the games, right? Like I feel like, I don't know, if you throw someone that's interested in improv that has an idea of like what you're doing, like you could probably do that. Like not to that level, obviously. Like what they're doing is fantastic, but like we could throw together like two or three sentences if we really needed to.
I think that's the point, though. Honestly, with long form improv, where you're doing a lot of different things, and I mean long form in the sense of the show's long. I know like Ben Schwartz means like long form as far as like the scenes are just go for like they really lean into like one scene or a few scenes that are interconnected. Um, because they would do that, and then they would do one where they had a bunch of hats, and
Oh,
they would basically run on stage, someone would throw a hat at them, and they'd have to like make up a character on the spot.
I haven't seen that
And
yet.
it was a dating profile.
Mm.
So like they'd get a hat, it'd be thrown at them, and they had to pretend to be someone and try and impress the audience for like 5 seconds. And it was very funny, but like that's hard. Like it's hard to come up with something Paul said on Monday is like, bold choices. Just like choose bold choices. Subtlety does not work on stage. You need to like know who you're talking to, make big, bold statements, bold movements, bold choices so that the audience, it's clear and the audience can follow. And that's not, 100% true. I'm sure as you get better, that's nuanced, but like I feel like that's what they're doing. They're just like going for the big, obvious, obnoxious thing because that's the funny thing and that's the thing the audience will get. You put a cowboy hat on, you're a cowboy. That works. Maybe you throw a twist in there, but like you're just gonna. That's how that works.
Yeah.
It's funny though, but like that seems harder to me. So like, it's like how do you
Yeah.
balance? You can't do all hard games because that's mentally exhausting.
You need some throwaways in there, some easy ones.
Mm-hmm.
I to tie it back to Monday too. I just finished, so I rewatched Middleditch and Schwartz. I had watched that when it came out in 2020, so I just rewatched it.
I think we
And
talked about it in 2020
yeah,
when it came out.
yeah, it's fantastic. But what we did
Same.
on Monday was yes ands, and so like we had our scene partner. So like Scott and I, we had a sentence that the teacher gave us, Paul, and then like we had to create like a yes and he did this, yes and he did that, and this, that sort of thing. I think it's interesting watching them because they're not saying yes and, like if you heard yes and, you'd be like, oh, okay, like you wouldn't expect to hear that from them. And so like I think it's interesting all of the different subtleties to good improvers and how they yes and, because there is no yes and, it's taking that piece of information and continuing the scene without needing to necessarily repeat what just happened. You can if the scene calls for it, but like if you I watched all 3 hours on Netflix in the last 3 days.
Wow.
They never said yes and. They made a joke about
Yeah.
yes and but like
Yeah.
if you watch the scene, like yes and is constantly happening, but it's in a different form outside of yes and.
Yeah, I think that's the I mean, I think that's the point is like you learn the concept of yes and so you don't need to say yes and you're just learning like you have that in your like if you watch, I mean again, I've referenced Dropout. You've been watching Make Some Noise and so like like how often it's just someone says something absurd and you're bought in. There's no hesitation. You're just like, "Okay, this is the reality. I'm going to take that. I'm going to build on it." You know, I'm falling out of an airplane. Someone said it. It's happening. That's my life now. How do I roll? How do I roll with that while keeping it grounded? I think is the hard part. Um,
And
but
that's the sausage on the supreme pizza right there.
I see you're still trying to make the pizza analogy work. Yeah. So it's like to me it's like if you're playing chess and you call back.
Yeah,
Um,
really well
I
done.
actually don't have a good like I don't have a good example. It's like if you're playing chess and you have an opportunity to like en passant, like you could, but like should
Should you?
you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah. I mean,
Could
again, no,
not have made less sense to what we're talking about. En passant is so obscure too. Like there's no reason for anyone to understand. Everyone's gonna go
yeah.
look up chess after this. The three people who see this by accident because they were I don't know somehow
I,
on YouTube and they came across this.
I I created our channel, and who knows? Maybe this channel has 100,000 subscribers when you're watching this person, John. When you're watching this, John, this might have 100,000 subscribers, and so you're like,
Bridge or burn.
I want to watch all of this other stuff. Um, I I think people are going to be really confused about the chess analogies because this could be the last time we ever talk about it.
It should be.
Yeah, I hope it is. Anything else? Want to get off your chest?
No, give me a second.
Oh, what I
Talk
wanted to
about something.
say when I was talking about the John, again, you're watching this.
The amount
I
of people you're alienating by mentioning John is crazy.
All right, Lucy.
Yeah.
When you're watching this, I so I created this channel and I think it's so funny. I can't actually find the channel. Like I own it, so like I can go to the profile. But like if I on a different profile search for Scott and Justin aren't funny, you can't find it because there's nothing there. And so the
Yeah.
algorithm's just like this thing doesn't exist yet
Yeah.
until this comes
Another
out.
one.
Yeah, until this comes out, and then it's gonna explode.
I read that uh YouTube receives 2,000 hours of content every day. New content.
It has to be more than that. 2,000 hours?
That's what I heard. 2,000 hours.
No, it's way more than that. You have to think
That's what
about
I heard.
I don't know the big streamers today. I don't Tim the Tap Man. I don't know where
Yeah.
show speed streams, but like that's 6 hours right there between two people.
I think that stat was in 2005. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
makes sense. That
I
makes
thought I heard
sense.
it may have been in a book, which very likely was old.
This date is from 2009. Man, could you imagine like I always make this scenario up with Lacey. Like if you get sent back in time today to 1989. Like you go back as a 18-year-old to that point, but you know everything you know today. Like just like
Yeah.
all the things that you could make money on, and like like hey, I'm gonna invest in Apple, and I'm gonna upload a bunch of cat videos on YouTube when it first becomes available, and like I know who's gonna win the Super Bowl this year, which you don't, but I do. You could be a
Okay.
billionaire by the time you get back to 2026. Amazon, What else could you do?
What are you talking about?
I don't. I mean, you're distracted. We're trying to film something here, and you're, I don't know, typing something. So
Damn,
like,
I'm looking up an improv game. I thought it'd be quicker, and it took so long.
I
I
mean,
was
I
trying to
was.
find just a quick. I want to suggest a quick game before we finished.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I
Um,
was just gonna say, world's worst. Enter something here. That's how I was gonna end it. But if
yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah, okay,
if you
all
looked
right.
up a game,
I was gonna do. I was gonna suggest the game we played on Monday, the yes and game, where there'd be a starting sentence and we would do yes and. I was gonna suggest that. I was trying to find what it was, and then a starting sentence, and I just ended up.
I mean, we
I
could
was like,
just.
hey, suggested a nice two-player simple improv game, and it wanted so much like space work, and I was like, this can't be right.
Well, we could do a yes and. I could give you one sentence and you could yes and it. Like that. That's.
I want you to give it to me because then you have the a leg up. I don't want
Yeah, but I
that.
don't
We
know
can't
what
have
you're
that.
going to say. I mean, it's
This
gonna be.
feels like
It would be something simple, like my neighbor drove to the grocery store
I've
yesterday.
I've got one. You said this was a shortcut, and now we're lost in a cornfield.
Yes, and we're starting to run low on gas.
Yes, and I'm starting to feel nervous.
Yes, and I'm also feeling nervous because it's getting dark out.
Yes, and um uh what's that light over there?
I, for some reason, I think it might be a lighthouse.
You didn't yes and.
Yeah,
All right,
because
when
you didn't give me a yes and opportunity. Yes and like, what's the light over there? Yes and I can't do that. No, it makes more sense to just give the sentence. Again, cheese pizza, not the dough.
what are you talking about? You're not good enough at improv to tell me what's good improv. Don't tell me what's good yes and.
All
It
right,
may have been
fine.
bad. You don't get to tell me that.
Yeah, yes and there is a light over there. I think it might be a lighthouse.
Yes and um I was trying to make a Widow's Bay reference and I lost it.
Yeah, I just watched
Uh
the last episode. Very good.
I just started it earlier today and I'm not very far in and I'm very excited about it.
Yes, and I think you're really
Um
gonna like it.
thank you for catching it. I was hoping. I was like, "Oh, I wish this was like I can't yes and myself."
No.
Um yes and I see a boat.
Yes, and it's interesting that you see a boat because we're in a cornfield right now.
So there's a lighthouse.
You can see a lighthouse. Lighthouse is like 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
How big of a boat are you talking about? You talking about a yacht?
Are you gatekeeping
No, I'm
my
not
yes
gatekeeping.
and?
I just have questions.
You don't get to ask questions. You yes and you make it make sense. Elevate the garbage I'm giving you. You don't get to don't no but me.
Yes, and I also see that boat.
You know
We
what?
should walk towards it.
Yes and I'm walking into the water.
Yes, and I would watch out for that sea hag.
Yes and she's already got me. I saw her before you did, honestly. I walked right towards her.
Yes, and I let you die. I jump on the boat.
Yes and you were born on this island. Good luck.
Yes, and I'm not trying to leave.
Yes and now I'm the sea hag.
Yes, and I'm more attracted to you?
Yes and
Yes, and back at you.
That's a good wink. You do have a good wink. You're right. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't. I'm not trying to. Your wink is I need to go practice. That's the problem. I like if I could sit in front of a mirror and just like nail it, I think I'd get it, but I don't think I have it right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else. Uh shoot, what was it? Mm, mm, I forgot. There was another game I wanted to play, but I lost it. I like the yes and game.
Yeah, it is fun.
I I
It's good practice too.
I It is good practice. I think that one was a little bit. I think it needs to be third person.
Yeah,
That's where we
probably.
got lost because it became very much about yourself. You can go in the water. I don't care. I'm getting on the boat, you idiot. Like that's yes, and I don't know. See ya, I
Yeah,
guess. I don't
I don't
know.
care.
Yeah,
Um, world's worst chef.
that was it.
Okay, I can go.
Worst chef.
I can go.
Uh, I want to just note for those watching, if you do post this, that it's 9 o'clock at night, and for me that's pretty late.
I mean, obviously, I'm posting this. Why wouldn't I post this? What was all of this about if I wasn't going to post it?
What are you, Rick Glassman and Paul Rudd? I don't know if you're gonna post it or not. Do you get the reference?
Of course.
Um, I World's Worst Chef. Do you have one? You go.
Yeah. The problem with World's Worst, I've noticed this about myself, is I tend to be a little bit more in the physical realm. It might be a little bit hard to do on a podcast. So,
You got the whole room on the camera, baby.
you know, I'm moving back and forth. I'm moving back and forth. Oh, people are running into me because I'm not saying behind, behind, behind. It's not my best.
It's because you're trying to you're trying to commentate your own.
Yeah.
Like, like you can't narrate like that's not how that works.
Well, if we were in person, like you and I were together, I would have you like in like standing there chopping stuff, and then I would like just like run into you from behind because again, I'm not saying behind.
I think that's not the rules of the World's Worst.
Oh, it absolutely is. Watch Whose Line. Any Whose Line.
Whose line is different role? That's not the same thing. That's like you're
telling me
taking like an idea.
they're doing different improv?
You're playing two different games.
No, there's Supreme Pizza guys.
I like my favorite thing I'm learning as I'm getting into improv and like the games and different stuff is that when we watch like Rick Glassman, which we referenced a number of times on his podcast, and like they're talking, they like at some point they finally mention that they're playing improv games the whole podcast, and it's like you realize that the podcast is for the most part them just playing improv games without saying that they're playing it, and each person trying to figure out what the rules are of the game. But no one says it. Like no one says like that's not the rules, or it's like there was an example in Ben Schwartz and Lisa Gilroy where like Ben said something and they're like, you're out,
Yeah.
because like he broke the rules. And I really
All right.
like that.
Well, I got one.
Okay, right.
Tastes like shit. Send it.
Uh, oh man,
All right, I got
so
another one.
I'm gonna.
No.
All right, you go.
Ah, my finger.
I thought you were playing drums.
Cutting with a knife.
Yeah, no, I realize that now. Uh, I'm bringing a plate out. I'm gonna put it down because you can't see my arms. Um, we here's your meal. It's the chef special. Um, we actually fed the shrimp ourselves, so there's extra shit in it. Enjoy. I made a dish recently that it's actually really clever. So because shrimp is easily overcooked, but you want that shrimp flavor in your dish, so people tend to overcook shrimp to get that flavor. So to get around that, you actually de-shell the shrimp, and then you use the shells to create a shrimp stock. Like you have like the shrimp shells in water and a couple some other things, and you cook that down. You remove the shells, and then you add the noodles, you add the shrimp, you cook that a little bit. Is very good. But I thought it was funny that like the idea of like just serving someone like just straight shrimp shells, but I couldn't sell it.
All right, chat. Today we're gonna make the world's best steak dinner. More with cooking with Justin.
What's the noise that they make?
So I'm asking you, how do you want to end the podcast? Are we gonna do like a fun like catch you guys next time, or like, hey, no matter where you are in the world, make sure you look at the moon tonight and give me a smile. It's like, do we have a
You got
saying?
it. I think we got it. Wrapped it up.
All right.
Yeah. Catch you guys on the. We'll see you on the
Dark,
flip.
dark side of the moon.
Yep. Got it. Nailed it.
Perfect.